curve published by Hartman and Kwon on the Journal of Dynamics and Control on 2004. This paper is about, this paper is a theoretical paper, and it develops a model in order to try to understand if the growth is sustainable over time and if an endogenous growth model is consistent to the environmental Kuznets curve. This paper is trying to develop an endogenous growth model, such as others tried to do before, but it differs from other kinds of growth model because it assumes that physical capital and human capital are produced separately, and that human capital, differently from physical capital, is clean, then does not produce pollution. And another important assumption is that physical capital can be used in order to control pollution. In the end, the main finding is that the growth is sustainable in the short and in the long run, and this is because the human capital grows faster than economic growth. The growth of human capital is faster than economic growth. And another important finding in the end is that the use of a tax or a voucher can lead to apparent improvement. So why we should talk about a Kuznets curve? Everybody knows the Kuznets curve that plots income per capita and inequality. This is an old idea of Simon Kuznets that tried to suggest that income per capita and inequality have this kind of inverted U-shaped relations, because when there is a low income per capita in a country, the inequality is lower, then it grows, but it tends to decrease when the country becomes richer and richer. So this model has been criticized very much, but it resulted to be more consistent for environmental degradation. So this has been discussed a lot. There is not an author that introduced this idea of the environmental Kuznets curve, but the idea is that, as well as Simon Kuznets suggested that income per capita and inequality have inverted U-shaped relation, also per capita income and environmental degradation have a U-shaped relation, inverted U-shaped relation. So, as long as the economy grows, the environmental degrades, the environment worsens, and when they reach a point, a turning point where the country is rich enough, the environmental degradation starts to decrease and the environment improves. Why we should talk about sustainable growth? Well, a lot of studies try to analyze the growth and try to introduce also pollution. So, in 1998, Stocky extended the standard AK model and standard macroeconomic models for growth in order to try to include pollution. Also, Andreoni and Levinson tried to create a model with pollution, but for the authors of this paper, the studies made in full was not enough. Also, the Arzawa and Lucas model that tried to extend the AK model in order to look separately at human and physical capital should have been extended. So the goal of this paper is to extend the Arzawa and Lucas model in a straightforward way in order to include the pollution and the pollution control. And the aim of the paper are to prove that economic growth is sustainable and to prove that this kind of pollution in terms of consumption.